And here we are again. We'll continue with this model, but the thing is, we have some a little bit darker things that I don't know if they are good, but we always can go to the detail that we have darker things, go to the alpha brush or our standard brush with RGB selected and no Z add or Z sub, so only RGB selected. Press C on the lighter area here and just drag a few times, and probably it should be okay, but it's not. Let me see why. We have standard dots, we have this color, we have RGB intensity, everything, fill object. Okay, when we fill, it's okay. Because I've restarted ZBrush, and notice I haven't checked this spotlight projection off, and that's bugging everything. Is it off? It's off. And again, it's not working. Maybe we have a mask? No. It's pretty strange now. So let's see if my brushes. So this is the standard brush. This is RGB on. It should be working as an alpha brush, but it's not doing kinda anything. Let me think. Why is that? Brush, spotlight projection off. Yeah. In alpha and texture here, this is the third option from bottom down. So smooth clip and alpha and texture. Polypaint mode was 2, which is colorize. We can have standard, colorize, multiply, lighten or darken, and I was in colorize because I was coloring some things here. So now it should be working just fine. Yes, it is. So yeah, it was on colorize. That's why it was not working. Yeah, let's go to a little bit lower RGB intensity and fill this couple of times, just to not have these very, very dark areas. Also here probably it will be a good idea to do that just once. And let's fill the helmet also with this color, but this time with RGB intensity 100. Okay. And now we can go for the helm and do the same thing with the masking. Let's see, mask by cavity, color profile. It's very strange that the color profile here is this. By default, it's something like this. Yeah, mask by cavity. So yeah, it was strange, but still, whatever. It doesn't matter that much for us. So mask by cavity. Now I will invert the mask. Click with Control few times and then invert the mask again, and then clear it in some areas that I don't want to be this to be darker. And what I will do is invert the mask, so the mask will be only on the places that I don't want to have a darker color, and I will go to this color and just try it on the model with a lower opacity. Just fill it, maybe darker, fill it. Let's Control H to hide. What are we hiding? We're hiding the mask because we want to see the model as it will be, and that's why the mask we don't need it. Yeah, I'm trying, just testing more saturated color for this thing. Let's see if it's working. Maybe the model itself at some points should be lighter, so I will just go with a big brush, pretty light. Let's see, this color but lighter. Let's just go over without the mask, go over the top here, or we will invert this curve, mask by cavity. Let's try it with lower intensity, so we'll have more things masked. And we can fill with this lighter color just to see what's happening. Mask it again, blur it, and then fill again with this color, the light color. And I don't see any difference, if I have to be honest. So I will go again with this, the bigger thing. Disable some of them. And yeah, this way, if I blur the mask too much, it will not have a mask here or in some other areas. So I will blur it by hand as much as I can, and then I'll just fill it with the darker color that we want. This, for example, a few times. Now it's better, and I can smooth. When I press shift, I'm smoothing, yes. But if I want to smooth only the color, I should, while I'm pressing shift now because the smooth brush is here. So I will just disable the add, and now I will smooth only the poly paint, which is also kind of comfortable to do. If you want to smooth it lighter, you should go down with the intensity lower, and it will be fine. Or RGB intensity in that case. Probably would be better, yes. And now the head is kind of good. I don't know what else. Probably I could go with this darker brush with the standard, with RGB intensity very low, and just drag here in the front part. Because if the light is going from above, it will hit this area, and this area will be a little bit more on the shadow part. So I think this could be good. I'm doing it. Yeah, okay. Now it's good. Let's go to the horns and just fill them with this color, of course, 100 opacity. Then we go to mask again, and probably by default our mask is not what we want it to be. This will be okay. I will reverse it, and then no, this will be too much. So I'll take this color, make it a bit more saturated. Sometimes I forget things, of course, and fill this. But first, Control H. So now we have only our crevices. We can work only on them. I will Control H, and then I will fill once, twice, 3 times, and then with Shift I will smooth whatever I feel that it's too harsh. And it's starting to look pretty good. I think we have done a great job here for the horns. Let's go to the other parts, like this. Maybe the horns we can do a little bit more on the bottom part without the mask. We can just draw with this color, just to have more like an ambient occlusion or some kind of a shadow. Okay. So draw a few more lines with this darker color in the bottom, and let's see it. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it doesn't look super something uniquely cool, but it's fine. And now I will go to this part and fill this with this color, but this color is a little bit more saturated, and I think it's more appropriate. Other color, the other color that we have put is not that saturated, and it was not that appropriate. It was too dark, I think. So let's go to this, press C on some light area here to have this, and maybe we should go to 100 RGB intensity and fill this. Then we alt click here, fill, alt click here, fill. Although for the hands I need to do something else, but alt click, fill, and alt click, fill. And maybe if we change the color now nothing will change, which is great. So now we'll go to the armor. Let's see if we have lower subdivisions. Yes, we have. We need lower subdivisions mostly for the arms, because we will move them, especially this one, this no, but this one will move, so he can grab the sword in this way. So we need a lower subdivision for that, but we'll do that later. First let's get into the poly painting of this thing. So mask by cavity, by default it's like this, I told you, and it's too much. I mean, it's masking a lot of things, not what we want. It's also too much, not good. So let's try something lower. It's too low, but let's try it like this. Invert the mask, click with control, invert the mask, invert the mask. So we need this. I'm inverting a lot. So now I will go with the standard brush with a little bit lower RGB opacity, and I will hide the mask by pressing Ctrl H to hide the mask, and then I will go and just fill the areas I want with this bit more saturated color. And it's nothing too much, of course. I will disable the mask by dragging outside, and I will just try to fill some of the areas here in the bottom with this darker color. And then I will smooth it, or at least try to smooth it. It's unsmoothable. Disable the mask, smoothing. It should be smoothable though. I don't know why it doesn't want to be smoothed, but whatever. The thing is, we need the other way around. The mask to mask the light parts. Probably it would be better. Okay, I'm trying to smooth those things. It won't happen. So let's mask the light parts like this. This seems pretty much okay. And now I will just hide the mask by pressing Ctrl H, and then I will go to a much lighter color and fill the object a few times. Although this lighter color should be kind of white. And I can go ahead and fill some areas by hand with this white color. And it's cool. So now we see this is too much saturation, obviously. I will go ahead with this a little bit crazier brush, a little bit darker. Just go ahead and push those planes that are pointing down. Make sure that they are a bit darker. And also I will try to make some kind of a ambient occlusion, artificial one, although we will probably have ambient occlusion after that when we're starting to make passes in Photoshop in ZBrush to go to Photoshop. That's my idea. And this RGB smoothing is not exactly working as intended. Ah, it's working now. Probably it should be at 100 everything, and then it's working. Before that, it was kind of working, but not exactly. Now it's working. And I think the armor is ready. We don't need to do too much on that. Let's go to the legs. Let's make this mask again. I mean, this method of coloration, it's not super... you don't have to do it. It's my point. You can do it, or you can not do it if you want. I mean, it's up to you. Because when I'm doing some kind of a realistic models or something, I rarely do this. This is only for things that are more or less stylized. Otherwise, you should just fill and maybe do some stuff with the poly paint. But you know, this is a tutorial for beginners, and I wanted to show you how it's done sometimes. And you can choose whether to do it or not do it, you know. If you like this method of coloring, you can of course make it work on your model. If you don't like it, you can just forget it or just do something else. But I'm obligated to show you, and sometimes it's giving us a pretty nice result. Not the best though, you know. You have to be good at coloring also, which I am not exactly, I will admit it. I'm kind of experienced a little bit with coloring, but not what you call good, you know. So yeah, Control H, making those things darker. Here also, here, this area, not too much. Saving project file. ZBrush, thank you. Thank you, ZBrush, for taking care of us. It's very nice of you. ZBrush is pretty cool. Sometimes even when it crashes, it saves the autosave, which, by the way, is in Lightbox quick save. Ooh, a lot of things. Okay, yeah, I do some figures on the side, so it's, you know, I do stuff. When you can work with some programs, you can do stuff, obviously. I will lower the intensity so I have this on the edges only, and maybe up a little bit. Yes, this is okay. I'll go ahead and grab a lighter color, and then Control H, and just go with the lighter color to have this edge advantage, edge retention, or just edges going on. We are left with the arms, and we will do them in the next probably video. And also the cape, we can do the same for the cape. And also let's do, oops, not dynamic, let's do this a bit. So let's get this, get a darker color, and just fill this with this darker color here, since it will be like an ambient occlusion from the armor and stuff. So it won't be the color of the cape, it will be darker in all cases. I can make even darker color, and then we can take the color from the cape and just drag a bit here where it's the most light part. And I think this will be kind of good. Let's continue doing this here, because this should be darker. And maybe we can go to the cape, mask by cavity, and smooth a lot, because this is a cape, it should be smooth. And then I will fill. When my crevices, the inner parts, are unmasked, I will fill it a lot. And then let's see, yeah, it's not bad, it's kind of good. And also we can drag with the darker brush here on the upper side, where it should have some kind of ambient occlusion. And that's kind of it for this video. We'll of course continue in the next one, but the models start to look pretty good. Of course, we will move the light also, we'll do some other stuff, but for now, that will be it.